What's going on, all you Minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition. It's time to fill those shelves and empty those wallets. That's right, we're going to be talking about the collected editions coming out in November of 2021. So, we got 5 weeks. Let's go ahead and get started. Before getting started, I just want to remind everybody to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and ring that bell for notification. All of that helps with our YouTube algorithm and our channel keep growing. We got 5 weeks in the month of November, and I put 5 weeks in there because, well, books used to come out on Wednesdays, but now most of them are accessible on Tuesday. So the last week of November is November 30th, so it'll be November 30th and December 1st. So instead of there being 5 weeks in December, you can call it whatever you want to, then I'm going to put 5 weeks here in November. One very important thing that I always like to remind everybody is that the dates are always suitable to change. Meaning that just because I say it's coming out on November 3rd, it could change to a later date. As a matter of fact, there are a couple here in the 3rd week. By the way, the 3rd week, we got another Omnigeddon coming our way. But I think some of those books will be moved into December, because we already know of Daredevil by Charles Soule, that's been moved into December. I haven't seen Darth Vader by Charles Soule either, that might be moved into December. But this is the closest dates and all the information I got throughout many very different websites and research. If you want the written documentation of all of this, we do have a tier in our Patreon. I think it's the $1 tier, and that's where you can access the written documentation of all the stuff that's coming out. And big thank you to our patrons. Now, let's go ahead and get started with the week of November 3rd. Talking about Marvel Comics. Kicking it off with Hawkeye by Fraction and Aha, the saga of Barton and Bishop. So this is a trade paperback, and it collects Hawkeye 1 through 22, Annual number 1, and Young Avengers Presents number 6. It's about the same material that's in the Omnibus of Hawkeye. We are also getting a Carnage Black, White, and Blood Treasury Edition. So I've done an overview of this already, and I believe they were trying to get this out in October, but sadly it slipped into November. Cole the Destroyer, the original Marvel years. Now, it's very important to note that only the Cicada cover is coming out, so the standard edition cover is coming out this date. So this collects... Oh, wait, I've done an overview of this particular omnibus if you want to check that out. But collecting Cole the Conqueror 1 through 10, Cole the Destroyer 11 through 29, that's when it went through the name change, Creatures on the Loose number 10, and Monsters on the Prowl 16. Then material from Cole the Barbarians 1, 2, and 3, Savage Sword of Conan 9, Conan the Barbarian 10, and Conan Annual number 3. Again, just that one standard edition cover. America Chavez is getting a trade paperback. And this is written by Kalinda Vasquez and drawn by Carlos Gomez. I've not read this series. I believe this is the 2021 series. And this collects all 5 issues. Fantastic Four, Volume 8, The Bride of Doom. Continuing Dan Slott's run on this particular title with artwork by R.B. Silva. So this collects issues 31 through 35. And it's also co-written by Mark Waid. Happy to see that name on here. Now, moving on to DC Comics. On November 2nd, we have Why the Last Man, The Compendium, Volume 1. I just got to announce Volume 2 a couple weeks ago. Perhaps even last week. $59.99. The book has 728 pages and collects the first 31 issues of Why the Last Man. This is a story that's written by Brian K. Vaughan. You have Runaways, Ex Machina, Saga, Paper Girls. And the artist is Pia Guerra, who's done work for Black Canary, and I think it was Spider-Man Unlimited? Anyway, soft cover, so keep that in mind. It's a compendium. I may get one to do an overview of, and end up giving it away on the channel later on. Batman Noel is also coming out that same week. And as well as Daphne Byrne. So Daphne Byrne is coming out that week, and that's part of the Black Label Hill House books. American Vampire, the hardcover edition, is coming out. And that one's $34.99, 264 pages. It looks to be the standard size hardcover just based on the dimensions. And this collects the 12-issue series, concluding the sequel to American Vampire. So I'm hoping what they do, you all know where I'm going with this, is make that into an omnibus. So hopefully we'll get an omnibus out of that. And The Joker Volume 1 is coming out that same day. So this is the one that's written by James Tynion and drawn by Gillian March. So Joker has his own series, and this is the very first hardcover of it. So we are also getting from manga one I'm very excited for, and that is Attack on Titan. Speaking of very excited, I'll be doing my top 10 essential buys, most wanted buys, or recommended buys for the month of November in a later video coming out probably this weekend, Sunday. So Attack on Titan, Colossal Edition number 6 is coming out that day. Battle Angel Alita Volume 3. If you're getting those in the softcover format, Volume 3 is coming out that week. Dr. Stone number 19, continuing that awesome saga, which my daughter really digs, and we need to get that one. Fairy Tail Box Set Volume 5. Should be one more box set, and then that will complete Fairy Tail, the original Fairy Tail. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5 Golden Wind hardcover Volume 2. It's interesting to see that this series has been released and selling well in America in hardcover format. It has not been canceled. It's going strong, and I'm really happy for the people that dig it. I really need to get back into it, perhaps during winter or Christmas break or something. Like I get one. Like I get a Christmas break. I may try to read more of that because I just couldn't dig it. Masterful Cat Depressed Again Today, Volume 2. What a title. But with Cat, yeah, you know, I had to get that for my kiddo. And we're also getting, finally, this one was postponed. It's been postponed a few times, so hopefully it will come out this day. And that is the Ryoku box set. And this one's being printed by Fantagraphics. So happy to see that that is still in here. We're also getting the Mashle, Magic and Muscles Volume 3 coming out that day. And Lupin the Third, The Greatest Heist, classic manga. So these were originally published by Tokyo Pop, and it looks like they're doing hardcover editions of these, and they're done by Monkey Punch, creator of Lupin the Third. Very happy to see that. My gosh, it's gonna be hard to choose top 10. Oh man, it's gonna be hard to be choosing top 10. There's a lot of good stuffs in here. Uncanny Omar talk pretty one day. From other publishers, we have Ballad for Sophie coming out. Die Volume 4. That is the Gillen. Is it tabletop RPG type of story? I never got around to reading Volume 1. I need to get that. Friday Book 1, First Day of Christmas. It's coming out from Image Comics. Outcast by Kirkman and Asaketa Compendium is coming out. I didn't even know about the Compendium coming out. I know that we had hardcovers of that released. Lumberjanes Volume 20, the final volume of Lumberjanes, is coming out that week. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Necessary Evil Deluxe Edition Part 1 and Part 2 has just been solicited. So it will be another hardcover coming out next year. Proctor Valley Road is coming out that same week, as well as the complete DC comic Phantom hardcover Volume 1. Now, I know with that one was originally supposed to come out sometime, I think a couple months ago, but it got pushed back. But at least we got a new date for it. Hilda Wilderness Stories. Oh, man. Troll and Midnight Giant. This is a hardcover edition. Lydia used to read those. Last Stand of Tin Can Sailors coming out, and this is a graphic novel. Life is Strange, Volume 5 coming home. And this is where we will find the Lore hardcover coming out. Not sure what this is, but it's published by Fantagraphics, drawn and written by Lane Milburn, but it looks beautiful. The cover, man, that cover got me. And then Man, Goat, and Bunny Man trade paperback is coming out that week to wrap up the week of November 3rd and November 2nd, depending on where you get your books. From Marvel Comics on November 9th / November 10th again, Fantastic Four Epic Collection, This Flame, This Fury. Look at that Paul Ryan cover. Rest in peace, Paul Ryan. I love this era, despite of this, what people think are silly costumes. But, oh my gosh, this era, Tom DeFalco's era of Fantastic Four, is one of my favorites and very underrated. Not a lot of people overlook it because of, well, look at Sue Storm's boob window costume in this cover, for example. If I'm not mistaken, this one had the prism cover in the background. This collects Fantastic Four 362 to 376, Annuals 25 and 26, and Adventures of the Thing number 3. So excited to talk about this one. This is the one I'm currently rereading right now to talk about it when it comes out that Tuesday. Oh, I love this era. Anybody else Tom DeFalco, Paul Ryan fans out there? I know I can't be alone. I know I'm not alone. Star Wars Legends Boba Fett Blood Ties is coming out. When I showed this image a few months ago, some people thought it was going to be an Epic collection, but it is not. It does collect a lot of the Dark Horse era stuff. So you have Blood Ties 1 through 4, Blood Ties Boba Fett is Dead 1 through 4, Empire 7 and 28, Boba Fett Half Issue from 1997, Star Wars Boba Fett Twin Engines of Destruction, One Shot, Agent of Doom One Shot, and then materials from Star Wars Strange, or Star Wars Tales, not Strange Tales, number 7. Mighty Marvel Masterworks, The Incredible Hulk, Volume 1, The Green Goliath, is coming out that same week. And my kiddos and I are going to be talking about that book soon. This one collects issues 1 through 6. They're still reading through Thor, so we're going to get through Thor first and then do a review of that book. Reign of X, Volume 5. Now, this states that it collects Excalibur 18 and 19, Sword 2 and 3, and King in Black Marauders, which I thought was already collected in one of those previous volumes. I don't know, the solicits are always a little bit off, is what I like to remind people. The Death of Captain Marvel Gallery Edition is due out that week, and that is a beautiful book. I've recommended that last month, so you won't see it in this month's recommended buys. And Conan the Barbarian by Jim Zub, Land of the Lotus, Volume 2. So collecting Conan the Barbarian 19 through 25, and it's a little bit confusing because Jason Aaron's run is the one that kicked it off, but they decided to renumber it with Conan the Barbarian by Jim Zub. From DC Comics that week, we have Justice League Dark, the New 52 Omnibus. It's a pretty pricey omnibus, $150, but it's also their biggest on... Oh my gosh, it's 1,648 pages. Woo! Well, we will definitely be discussing that one in our recommended buys for sure, so I'll go into detail in that video. Superman, The One Who Fell. This is Philip Kennedy Johnson's start on Superman. And this collects Superman 29 through 32 and Action Comics 1029, 1029. So awesome. Batman, Superman Volume 2, World's Deadliest. This is, I think this is written by Joshua Williamson, if I'm not mistaken. But collecting Superman, or Batman, Superman Annual Number 1 and 7 through 15. This is the trade paperback edition of this particular series. And Batman Volume 1, their Dark Designs. This is James Tynion's Tynion the Fourth run on this particular book. And this is the trade paperback edition. This was been previously published in hardcover edition, collecting Batman 85 through 94 and Batman Secret Files number 3. He's the one that took over the book after Tom King left the book. Man-Bat. It's just Man-Bat, trade paperback, collecting the mini-series of Man-Bat 1 through 5. As far as manga from that week, we have Demon Slayer, the box set, coming out. And I see some places have already been selling it. Mao Volume 2, continuing Rumiko Takahashi's new manga, which I was very excited to review an early copy of Volume Number 1. Muscles Are Better Than Magic, Volume 3. I love that title. And that cover is ridiculously over the top. Soul Eater Perfect Edition, Volume 5. I'm also happy that they're continuing this because a lot of those tankobons, the softcover ones, have been out of print for years. Witches of Adama's, Volume 1 is coming out that week. From other publishers, we have the Dark Horse Book of Horror, which I assume they wanted to release it this particular month, but sadly it slid into November. I know Hellboy Omnibus was originally supposed to come out in September, but now it is sliding into November. Dracula, Son of the Dragon is coming out that week, as well as EXO, E-X-O, The Legend of Well Williams, Volume 1. RuneScape, the first 20 years in illustrated history. That looks really pretty for somebody that has never played RuneScape. I think it's a game, right? It is a game, or a book series. I'm going to go with game. Transformers, the IDW Collection Phase 3 Volume 1 officially coming out. I have a copy of it that I'll be doing an advanced look at, and I'm so excited to talk about it. Short While original graphic novel is coming out in graphic novel format and in hardcover format. Homesick Pilots Volume 2 is coming out that week. Unnatural Omnibus. This is the hardcover edition, and I did not know about this particular book coming out until I started looking at the solicitations. So this is published by Image Comics, and it is Mirka Andolfo, who has been blowing up recently. It's both her writing and her artwork, and this collects all 12 issues of that. She's a very anime-ish look to her art, but a lot of her stuff is mature rating. So if you're into that stuff, this looks gorgeous and probably on my buy list for sure. Red Room, Antisocial Network. Man, Pisker's been killing it on that. And I think, I follow the guy. I think he's currently in Japan. And that was not just the reason to slide the Street Fighter thing in there. I think he is in Japan right now. He's having a good week that week because Red Room's coming out, as well as Hip Hop Family Tree, the box set 1975 to 1983 from Fantagraphics. So good on him. Upgrade Soul, the collector's edition, is coming out. So this is the hardcover edition, and Upgrade Soul was one of my favorite reads of 2020. Animosity Omnibus sliding into this week, but not canceled. So that's good to see. As well as Robotech from Titan Comics. This is Volume 6, Event Horizon. The third week of November, hold on to your butts because holy crap, we have a lot of books. So kicking it off with Marvel Comics, we have Marvelverse Spider-Man graphic novel. So this collects very different eras of Spider-Man to kind of introduce new readers to the character. But you have Mythos Spider-Man in here, Amazing Spider-Man 32 and 33, If This Be My Destiny. Probably one of the top 10 best Spider-Man stories, Adventures of Spider-Man 2 and 3. It's a lot of Spider-Man this week. Untold Tales of Spider-Man, the complete collection. This is the first half of that omnibus that came out, but it's coming out officially in trade paperback. Collecting Amazing Fantasy 16 through 18, Untold Tales of Spider-Man 1 through 14. If you've not read it, it is a freaking awesome read, especially if you're a big fan of that older era, the Silver Age era of comics. Infinite Destinies is coming out in trade paperback format. So this looks to be a crossover through the different annuals of Marvel Comics. So you have Iron Man annual number 1 from 2021, by the way. All of these are from 2021. Thor annual number 1, Captain America annual, Black Cat annual, Avengers annual, Miles Morales, Spider-Man annual, Guardians of the Galaxy annual, and Spider-Man annual number 2. So that one, all those came out in 2021. The Amazing Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 3. This is when the reprint is coming out. Both covers are coming out that same week, and I'll be doing an advanced look at that soon. Oh, I got a lot of videos to put out. The Immortal Hulk Volume 4, not canceled. A lot of people were worried that it wasn't in the September or October solicitations, but Volume 4 is officially coming out that week. This is the oversized hardcover format. Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection Life Theft. This is Volume 26 of Amazing Spider-Man. A lot of this stuff has never seen print in collected edition. So you have Amazing Spider-Man 381 to 393, Annual 28, Spider-Man, Adjectiveless Spider-Man 45, Spectacular 211, Web of 112, and Amazing Spider-Man Ashkin Edition. So Life Theft. And on that cover is so badass by Mark Bagley. You have Venom, Cardiac, Hobgoblin, Doc Ock, and Carnage. Oh man, brings back a lot of memories of that era. I was big into Spider-Man back then. Cloak and Dagger Omnibus Volume 2. Very excited to talk about this book when I do an overview of it. But collecting Marvel graphic novel Cloak and Dagger, Predator and Prey, Strange Tales number 7, Mutant Misadventures of Cloak and Dagger 1 through 13. Then when the title was officially changed to just Cloak and Dagger 14 through 19, and material from Strange Tales 3 through 6 and 8 through 19. Young Avengers, I've done an overview of this one already if you want to check it out on the channel. This omnibus collects Young Avengers 1 through 15, Marvel Point 1, and it only collects the material from Marvel Point 1, just the Young Avengers story. X-Men Epic Collection, Magneto. I'm so glad they went with that name. This is after John Byrne left the book, so collecting Uncanny X-Men 144 to 153, Annual number 5, love that annual. Avengers Annual number 10, first appearance of Rogue. Bizarre Adventures 27, that's got a good That's a good story, and it's in black and white. And Marvel Fanfare 1 through 4. It looks like it's all of Marvel Fanfare intact in that particular collection. Now, not to be confused with the other Cull book, but this is Cull the Conqueror, the original Marvel Years Omnibus, collecting Cull the Conqueror 1 and 2, Cull the Conqueror 1 through 10, and Veil of the Shadow just the one shot. It's a graphic novel. Marvel Team Up 111 through 112. Now, this is the third book if you're looking at Cull in chronological order. This is the last of the stories, and this is all from the 80s. Guardians of the Galaxy by Al Ewing, Volume 3. Crossing my fingers, because I'm really enjoying this run, that they'll get an oversized hardcover of this. 13 through 18 is what's collected in here, so hopefully he keeps writing it. You know what? I want an omnibus. Let the man keep writing it. And speaking of Al Ewing, Empire Omnibus finally coming out. Both covers are coming out that month. And this is one that's written by Al Ewing and Dan Slott. A lot of work in here by Valerio Schetti. But this is a big book. So I'll be doing an overview of this particular one, an advanced one, probably the week that this comes out. I haven't started reading it yet. Conan the Barbarian, the original Marvel Years Omnibus, Volume 6. So, collecting Conan 150 to 171, Conan Annual number 8 and 9, and What If number 43. Now, this is one that I haven't gotten yet, so I don't know if this will make it out in November or if it will slide into December. Thinking it might slide into December. Amazing Spider-Man by Nick Spencer, Volume 15, What Cost Victory, collecting the final issues of his run on Amazing Spider-Man. I know a lot of my viewers have already seen it or read these issues and want my opinion on them. I only read them in trade, so I can't wait for this to come in. I've kept away from spoilers. All I know, it's supposed to undo something, and I even try to tell people not to tell me anymore, but I can't wait to read it. Ultraman Volume 2. This is one that's kind of a hidden gem. I really enjoyed that first one. The one that was co-written by Kyle Higgins. So this is the Trials of Ultraman, collecting the 5-issue miniseries, The Trials of Ultraman. I was hoping those sold well enough to maybe warrant an oversized hardcover one day. From DC Comics, we have Plunge, part of the Hill House Comics. This is the trade paperback collection, collecting all 6 issues of this miniseries. We have The Dreaming Waking Hours, part of the Sandman universe. This is one that's written by G. Willow Wilson. This collects all 12 issues of that, and it's $29.99 and has 296 pages. Catwoman Volume 5. I honestly thought this series was canceled, so Ram V took over the run. I'm loving Ram V. Everything he has written. So if anybody's reading this, please let me know how this is. Please lie to me and tell me it's great. Collecting Catwoman 29 through 33, because this one didn't start off really well. And I love Joelle Jones. Just didn't dig it. The Other History of the DC Universe is coming out. This is the hardcover edition. This is by John Ridley. And Giuseppe Camuncoli is doing the artwork in this particular series. So this collects the 5-issue miniseries of The Other History of the DC Universe. Every time there's a crisis, DC happens, they like to do something called the History of the DC Universe, whether it's written by Marv Wolfman, Mark Waid. This is The Other History, though. Justice League, Endless Winter. One that's written by a name I like to see on books, and that is Andy Lanning, Ron Mars, and Howard Porter supplying the artwork. So this collects, it looks like it's a crossover, Endless Winters 1 and 2, Flash 767, Superman Endless Winter Special number 1, Aquaman 66, Justice League for the 8. Justice League's, oh man, I need to slow down and drink some coffee. Teen Titans Endless Winter Special number 1, Justice League 29. Oh, that's Justice League Dark 29. Black Adam, the Endless Winter Special. And this is all collected in hardcover format. So, based on that price, $29.99, this is probably going to be standard size hardcover. From the world of manga, we have the continuing Beastars, Volume 15. Blade of the Immortal, Volume 5. You know, I'm not adding Blade of the Immortal to my must-buys. Just know that you have to, because it's so good. Booty Royale. Did I talk about the first one? Booty Royale. Never go down without a fight. Omnibus. What's up? What is up? Children of Wells, Volume 18 coming out. That looks so good. I've not read it. I don't know what it's about, but that artwork, man. Mob Psycho 100 Volume 7. This is the same guy that did One Punch Man. Robo Sapien Tales of Tomorrow Omnibus is coming out. One that I didn't see coming, but I'm glad that other publishers get to publish these books that aren't really popular or talked about often. But that one looks really good. Ursa Yatsura Volume 12, continuing Rumiko Takahashi's masterpiece. Her very first ongoing manga, and it's a long manga. And speaking of ongoing, I wish this next book was an ongoing movie series, but what are you going to do? Buckaroo Banzai Against the World Crime League. So this is a compendium of evils. And yeah, I was a big fan of Buckaroo Banzai, the movie, and I wish that it had continued in movie format, but you know, what are you gonna do? I ended up buying the script of the second movie from Peter David. Apparently he wrote one, and it did continue in comics, but you know, it's just not the same. Not that there's anything wrong with continuing stories in comic book formats like Firefly, but I would rather see them in the original version that they came in. This looks really good. I love this cover, and that's Mafiosa. This is by Sunshine Barbito. No idea what this book is about, but it is printed by Dark Horse Comics. We have Enigma, the definitive edition hardcover, Peter Milligan and Duncan Figueredo. You had me at those two names. And apparently this is one that they've been trying to publish for a long time, and this is the definitive collection, $24.99 for this hardcover, and it's 264 pages. So I'm going on a blind buy there. EC Archives Frontline Combat Volume 3. So Dark Horse is continuing their hardcover lines of the EC Archives, just not very often. The Complete Darkness Volume 2 is coming out in hardcover format, and if it's anything like a pain in the ass to get, like the first volume in Witchblade hardcovers, try to pre-order or try to reserve a copy. I know the final cutoff date is gone, but those books have just been so hard to get. Home, coming out in trade paperback. I have not read it, but I'm really excited to read this. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Shadecraft Volume Number 1 is coming out that week from Image Comics. And we have Star Wars Episodes 5 through 9, or I'm sorry, 4, can't read my Roman numerals apparently, the graphic novel adaptation box set. Beckstar trade paperback is coming out, as well as Bee Quest trade paperback. And, oh my gosh, I need to hold on to my wallet. The Complete Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck Deluxe Edition hardcover is coming out that week. Ever Way Out original graphic novel is coming out. Miss Tree trade paperback Cold Dish is coming out from Titan Comics. This is written by Max Allan Collins. And super sexy lady with a gun on the cover. No idea what this is, but it looks to be a detective noir fiction. Alright, I can dig that. Methods of Dying is coming out that same week. This is published by Avery Hill Publishing. I don't know what this is, but I'm intrigued by the title and that cover. So, sometimes these independent books, man, they know how to get you. Once in Future, the deluxe edition is coming out that week, as well as the slipcase edition. Power Rangers Edge of Darkness is coming out that week, as well as the Aspen Universe. And that's, of course, the Aspen Universe being Michael Turner's universe. So a lot of his creations are part of this universe. A lot of artists that kind of were heavily inspired by his art and draw very similar to him are still part of this comic creation, and that is Volume 1 coming out that week. Now, before we move on to our 4th out of 5 weeks, here's a quick word from our sponsor. If you live in Europe and are interested in pre-ordering or purchasing Omnis, then you should definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices for Marvel and DC big books within the EU. Flat shipping of €9.90 for EU countries. Extremely careful and sturdy packaging. Emails are answered within 24 hours. And they have a superb selection of new releases and out-of-print books on their website. Just head over to waltzcomicshop.com for more great deals and rare titles. And for a limited time, you can use the code Near Mint Condition, all one word, at the checkout for free shipping to all EU countries with your first order. Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for Omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Kicking off the week of November 23rd/24th for Marvel Comics, we have Reign of X Volume 6 coming out. And this states to have Sword number 4, X-Men 18 and 19, Marauders 18 and 19, and X-Force number 17. To me, it's still my favorite way to collect those books. Spider-Man Sinister War is coming out in trade paperback format. This is written by Nick Spencer. drawn by Mark Bagley, collecting the 4-issue miniseries Sinister 4. And Sinister War, sorry, not Sinister 4. We're also getting the Iron Man Epic Collection In the Hands of Evil. So this one is 496 pages, $44.99, collecting Iron Man 310 to 318, War Machine 8 through 10. I'm so glad that that's in there. Force Works 6 through 7, so it does have that crossover. Iron Man Force Works Collector's Preview and material from Marvel Comics Presents 169 and 172. If I'm not mistaken, that's the Rhodey story in there. I think that's what that is. X-Corp by Tini Howard is coming out that week, collecting the first 5 issues of that run. Written by her, drawn by Alberto Foce and Valentin de la Andro. The Mighty Valkyries, All Hell Let Loose. And this was past the King in Black miniseries. So this is yet another collection of the Valkyries. This is written by Jason Aaron and Torun Grombeck, who has a badass name, collecting the 5-issue miniseries of the latest Valkyries. Cold the Destroyer, this is where the Plug cover is coming out. So, same content. Yeah, I've done an overview of it featuring this particular cover, so if you're interested, check that overview out. Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters is coming out in trade paperback format, collecting Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters Alpha and issues 1 through 5. Was there an Omega? I only keep up with these books in trade paperback. Written by Charles Soule and drawn by Luke Ross and Steve McNiven. Some damn good talent in that book. X-Men Legends Volume 1. So excited to have this. Collecting X-Men Legends 1 through 6. So you have the return of classic writers of the X titles like Peter David and Fabian Nicieza. And you have artwork in here from Brett Booth. So, yeah. I'm in. I've only read the first issue. Silk, Threats and Menaces is coming out in trade paperback format. And that collects issues 1 through 5 of the Silk series from 2021. Web of Spider-Man. This is the series it's in smaller scale graphic novel format, collecting all 5 issues of that. Smaller scale, and it's also cheaper. It's $13.99. From DC Comics, we have The Sandman, the Deluxe Edition, Book 4, collecting issues 51 through 69 of the original Sandman series by Neil Gaiman in deluxe hardcover format. Batman by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo Omnibus, sticking to that date, so not going anywhere apparently. Collecting the second half of Scott Snyder's run on Batman, the New 52. Suicide Squad, Volume 1, Give Peace a Chance. This is Robbie Thompson's latest series. So it's Future State Suicide Squad 1 and 2, and Suicide Squad 1 through 6. That's the latest Suicide Squad series. Berserk, Deluxe Edition, Volume 9. Oh my god, yes. It's sad. Like, I read Volume 8, and I thought, you know, this is weird reading this, because I know Kentaro Miura is gone. This will be another one that I reread that way. This is my favorite manga of all time. I'll be doing my favorite manga horror story, or my favorite manga horror, the top 10. And I'm sure a lot of people will expect me to put Berserk in there on my list. That'll be coming out, I think, next week. I had to postpone that because I've been doing a lot of reading. I need to slow it up a little bit. But no, Berserk it's everything. It's not just horror. It's the most perfect manga. Definitely mature rating them. This collects volumes 25 through 27 of the Tankobon. Damn. Alright, Cardcaptor Sakura Collector's Edition, hardcover, volume 9. Oh, I'm still hoping that comes out in some kind of box set. How did we get a Cardcaptor Sakura hardcover and not a Sailor Moon hardcover format? This is a series I was a big fan of growing up in my teens, and that's Gold Digger. This is the remastered Book 1 Signature Edition. What is this? Nichijou, the 15th anniversary box set. No idea what this is about. All I know is the box set's coming out, and I'm going to get it based on the cover. It looks really good, and I've got the stupid box set bug. Vampires, Volume 1, My Peers, Vampires. I don't know what this is. The cover is interesting enough. From other publishers, we have Animosity Evolution Omnibus, which is a follow-up to the Animosity story. So hopefully both Omnis. I don't think they meant to do that. That both Omnis would be coming out on the same week, on the same month. I think The Animosity Omnibus was originally solicited for August of this year, but it's been pushing back, and now it's coming in November. Frank Miller's Sin City, The Hard Goodbye. The deluxe edition is coming out, as well as the hardcover. The deluxe edition is a lot pricier, though. It's $100. Collecting, to me, his magnum opus. And it looks like it comes in a slipcase, all kinds of goodies. And again, $100, 224 pages. So, I mean, you got to be a pretty big fan of Frank Miller's Sin City. Cats! Perfect Strangers coming out that week. I had to put that in here. Not so I could roll my R's, but because my kid's, she's into cats. That's why. EC Archives, The Haunt of Fear, Volume 1, coming out in trade paperback format. From Image Comic, we have, woo! What's going on there? This is Fine Print, Volume 1 by Stepan Sajic. I should have known. The beautiful cover by Stepan Sajic. And this is his latest series. Same guy that did Sunstone. And we have Geiger coming out that week. This is Jeff Johns and Gary Frank series. All 6 issues for an introductory price of $9.99. Man, it's going to be so different reading Jeff Johns, not having to write a DC character. But hell yeah, man. That's awesome. Good for him. I think he was kind of burned out a little bit on DC characters for a while. I don't know. I wasn't the biggest fan of Doomsday Clock, but you know, maybe some or Three Jokers for that matter. Rat Queens Deluxe Edition hardcover Volume 3, but I am going to get the Absolute Doomsday Clock because I'm that stupid. And if they ever do an Absolute Three Jokers, I'm in. Now where the hell was I? Yes, Rat Queens Volume 3. So this collects Rat Queens, the second series, 11 through 20, plus the Neon Static special and additional bonus content. So I'm glad that they're continuing that. My wife is a big fan of Rat Queens, and she's been getting them in hardcover format for a while. Safe Sex Volume 2 is coming out, Terms of Service. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 3. This is the Reborn, Time After Time. This is the Sophie Campbell series, if you're keeping up with that. So hopefully this stuff will be collected in a volume, I guess it would be Volume 15 of the hardcover editions. Bloodshot by Tim Seeley. The deluxe edition is coming out from Valiant Comics that day. Extraordinary Volume 1. This is the hardcover edition. As well as Firefly Blue Sun Rising. The deluxe edition hardcover is due out that same week. Jim Henson's The Storyteller Tricksters hardcover is coming out. I'm thinking about getting that one because I have the Dark Crystal books and they're beautiful books. My Only Child hardcover edition from Fanfare Publishing is coming out that week. So this is based on the one-child law that was happening in China, and it looks to be a good story. Just man, no. Sometimes those stories about kids, so it's kind of rough for me to read. Red Xmas is coming out, so we're getting closer to the Christmas time. We're going to be getting a lot of those Christmas stories, but I don't know if this is going to be a good one or not. But Red Xmas is coming out that week. It does look like a badass Santa Claus, though. This is Clay Adams, Alejandro Filippi, and then Fabio Ramanchi is doing the artwork here from Scout Studios. Rivers of London is coming out in a box set edition. This is box set 4 through 6 of this particular series. This is released from Titan Studios. And to wrap up that week is Dying Light, the graphic novel. Now, the last week, November 30th, December 1st, from Marvel Comics, we have the Fantastic Four Omnibus reprint. This is the direct market cover, which is the Alex Ross cover. That's the only one that is coming out that week. Again, it might be pushed back into December. Avengers Epic Collection Taking Aim is coming out. 504 pages, $44.99, collecting the Avengers 378 to 388. Getting closer to that. Crossing, baby! Marvel Double Feature Avengers Giant Man 379 to 382. Vision 1 through 4, the 1994 limited series, and Captain America 440 to 441. The cover there, I think, is Mike Deodato Jr., if I'm not mistaken. Spider-Man Worlds Collide. This collects both Spider-Man 1 through 5 and Spider-Man 2 1 through 5. The first time that Miles Morales and Peter Parker from the 616 universe met, and then the follow-up to that series, written by Brian Michael Bendis, and you have artwork in here from Mark Bagley and Sarah Pichelli. Mighty Marvel Masterworks, The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2, The Sinister Six. It's coming out, collecting issues 11 through 19, and Amazing Spider-Man number 1. Can't wait to read those with my kids. Warlock is getting a gallery edition in hardcover format. So collecting Strange Tales 178 to 181, Warlock 9 through 15, Avengers Annual number 7, and Marvel 2-in-1 Annual number 2. X-Men Mutant Massacre Omnibus. This is the new printing. You've got a standard edition cover and the direct market cover, which I like to call the Omar cover because I accidentally slipped up on that when I gave the news of that book coming back into print. Yikes. What if? But David was kind enough to say, hey, I kind of dig that cover. Let's use that for the direct market cover. What if? The original Marvel series, Omnibus Volume 2. So this is actually coming out now in the last week of November, or December 1st. Collecting What If 23 through 47. So wrapping up that series of the original What If. And people have been asking me, will there be more What If? I think it all depends on the sales of these 2 volumes, so I'm hoping. Conan the Barbarian, Epic Collection, the original Marvel years, the Queen of the Black Coast. Oh man, these issues are so good. Collecting Conan the Barbarian 43 to 59 and Savage Sword of Conan number 1. I read these in omnibus format. Freaking love them. Roy Thomas was kicking all kinds of ass. You have Mike Plug on artwork in here. And of course, Big John Buscema. Infinity Gauntlet Omnibus, the new printing, both covers are coming out that day. So in case you missed it, it's when the new distributor is getting them. From DC Comics, we have Superman and the Authority. So Grant Morrison's 2 issues, so they're 2 one-shots. Yeah, and Mikhail Janin, who draws some super sexy characters, they're coming out in this hardcover format. Okay. So Morrison and Janin, huh? 144 pages, $24.99. The Green Lantern Season 2, speaking of Grant Morrison, Volume 1. This is the trade paperback edition of that series. Collecting Green Lantern Season 2, 1 through 6, and we'll need one more to wrap up that series. Truth and Justice. So this is written by Jeffrey Thorne and Brandon Easton with Chris Cross on artwork. So I don't know what this, I think, might have been a mini-series that starts, well, I know that's Vixen there. So yeah, that's coming out in trade paperback format. As far as the world of manga, we have I Am a Cat Barista. Cat. Lydia. That's why it's in here. And honestly, that's a goofy title. Unicorns Aren't Horny, Volume 2. Manga was a mistake. No, it was not. Manga's great. It's just sometimes... What? From Dark Horse, we have Stranger Things Library Edition Volume 2. And this collects Stranger Things 6 and Stranger Things Into the Fire miniseries. So that's what this hardcover collection has in there. We're also getting the Witchfinder. Awesome. I forgot about this. Omnibus Volume 2. So this is a hardcover collection. This collects volumes 4 through 6 of the trade paperback editions. So that's Witchfinder, Mike Mignola, Chris Robertson, Ben Stenbeck doing most of the artwork in here. Halo Legacy Collection, the paperback. I know they did a hardcover collection of this stuff, but this collects a lot of the Halo miniseries, including Halo Bloodline. Some of the stuff here is done by Brian Michael Bendis, Alex Maleev, because apparently they were big Halo fans. And Dark Horse was like, yeah, sure. You want to write a Halo comic? Go for it. Beast of Burden, Occupied Territory is coming out that week. I love this series. This almost made it in my latest Hidden Gems. I need to pick up the 3rd hardcover. This is Evan Dorkin and Ben Dewey supplying the artwork here, collecting Occupied Territory issues 1 through 4 of that series. Buffy the Vampire Slayer Legacy Edition, trade paperback Volume 6. This collects Buffy 51 through 63. This is published by Boom Studios, but it's the Dark Horse era. Barbaric is getting a hardcover edition, and this is published by Vault Comics. And I need to get one of these books. This is sort of the Red Christmas book. These look fun. Like, as long as they don't take themselves too seriously. Betty Page, Unbound, Volume 2, from Dynamite Studios. And speaking of Betty Page, I'm going to be talking to Anime, who is a famous cosplayer. She works for Previews World, and she's writing her own Betty Page book. That'll be on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a live video, so tune back in for that. Dragon Kingdom of Renly, Volume 6, both in hardcover format and in graphic novel format, are coming out that day. Godkiller, the Deluxe Edition, Book 2, Tomorrow's Ashes. I need to pick up Volume 1. I completely forgot about Volume 1. Red Sonja, Age of Chaos, coming out that week from Dynamite Studios. And that cover, huh? Not too shabby. From Vault Studios, we have Resident, Volume 2. Really, actually, that cover. You got a little girl with a dog. Pulls at the heartstrings, man. Court of Dead War is coming out from Insight Comics. And this is Court of Dead War of Flesh and Bone graphic novel. You have Tom Gilliland, Frank Terry, and Alex Horley working on this particular book right here. That cover, though, that really reminds me of those years of heavy metal. You know, this is, I don't know, it just screams heavy metal to me. PS Art Books Classic Sci-Fi Comics hardcover volume 4, as well as the slipcase, will be out that day. And to wrap up the month of November, we have Phantom on the Scan from Aftershock Comics, written by Cullen Bunn and collecting the 5-issue miniseries. Now, when these books come out, check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They pride themselves on packaging your books so they arrive safely in an excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. Check out the bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. CGN is excited to announce that they are now taking pre-orders. They're making it easier for you to ensure that you don't miss out on the hottest releases. CGN is currently running a special promotion for your Minties. If you're a first-time customer, let them know that you were referred by near mint condition at the checkout, and you'll receive a credit for free shipping on your next order. This promotion is valid for U.S. customers only. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount and quality shipping and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And those are the collected editions coming out in November of 2021. Again, I'll be doing another video on my top 10 recommended buys, must pick up buys, or the books that I think I'm going to be picking up for sure or recommending to people. Yeah, I just said that, recommended buys, whatever. Anyway, come back for that on Sunday. And let me know what you are going to be picking up for November. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. We put out videos every day, sometimes 2, sometimes 3 if we get crazy. And ring that bell for notifications to let you know when our videos are going live. Speaking of live, we'll be back tomorrow, Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with the Astonishing Melanie. It's our live Q&A. Anything goes. Well, anything goes in the AMA. And that's in the Patreon. So thank you to our patrons. And if you want to join our Patreon, the description of the video has the link to our Patreon with different tiers. And I think that's it. We're on Spreadshop where you can get t-shirts, our logos on t-shirts, hats. And more importantly, everyone, seriously, stay healthy and stay safe out there. Much love.